any of that with these people. It's not worth it. Let them go on. If your car got bumped, okay, you got insurance, get it fixed. And tragically, 2 football players have died. Tragically, the Bayou Classic episode, New Orleans has just black clouds with all of this murderous, stuff going on like this that, I hate that the image it gives to the city. I hate that they've died first and foremost. I feel sorry for, and I'm praying for Mrs. Smith and her children, because they don't have their dad. I'm praying for the McKnight family. They don't have their dad, their son, or, what have you. And also the people that orchestrated both of their deaths. And all 4 lives are destroyed or ruined. And I don't agree with manslaughter. He didn't have a gun, and he was shot 3 times. So I don't agree with that. You murdered him. He didn't have a gun. Now, maybe he was about to punch you or hit you, maybe, but he did not come and wave a gun to you. Sorry, I'm not getting ready to agree with you. He did not wave a gun. And I don't know, this nation, as I stated before, it sounds like a broken record. This nation is under a lot of civil unrest and a lot of strife.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to have to continue our prayers for our nation, for our city as well. When you really look at New Orleans, will this deter business from continuing on? Will it deter people from visiting our city for sporting events or even just the tourism standpoint? I mean, these are very high-profile situations now that have taken light and is cast a very dark cloud on the sporting arena in New Orleans. So hopefully we can be able to see something positive come out of this. Hopefully there's some justice that will come out of these events as well. But either way, there have been damaged lives, and we have to pay attention and pray for those people who have been negatively impacted by these senseless crimes, and I'm just going to say these were crimes perpetrated against these individuals. Okay, guys, let's kind of wrap it up. Let's see. I will be in New Orleans this weekend, guys, but only due to the death of my uncle and attending the funeral, so I won't be able to hang out much with anyone, but hopefully on Sunday, our team, which they have flexed the game, and I know they're playing an evening game at 3:15 p.m., right? So hopefully the Saints will be able to come away and do something positively against the guys over in Tampa Bay. Rem, how do you see this game falling out with the Saints? Win? Don't know?
Before I answer the question, man, I want to just extend my sympathy to you and your family for your uncle.
Thank you, man.
I wish you would come into town for a better purpose. Also, Derek, man, I tried to be at your function a few weeks ago. I actually did show up, but I got there before you did. And so I left to go to another party I was invited to, and by the time I was finished, I was too tired to come back. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I was exhausted by 9 o'clock. So I went home.
You were saying by 9 o'clock.
So I'm not even lying, bro. I'm acting every bit of an old man these days. But back to the topic at hand. You know what? I'm going to pick the Saints to win this game because it's exactly like what they have been doing all season. They're going to give us a reason to get on another high. This week, I predict that they will go out there and handle their business and not just win, but win soundly. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to carry out through the other 4 games. I'm just saying that's the team we've been seeing, and that's what I expect them to go out and handle their business this week. our hopes up again.
Good point. Professor.
I agree with everything that Remy stated. I take this game with a grain of salt, though. I said it before, I'll say it again. The Saints are a trick, and not a treat. They're a trick. And they like to trick you and thinking everything is fixed. And then I think Remy hit the nail. I just would not be surprised that they go out there and just beat the Pats off the Buccaneers. Only thing that I think that would hurt the Saints is if the weather is bad. I know there's another weather system coming through the Southeast Sunday. And I don't like the fact that they changed that game to 3:15. The Saints don't, in Tampa, them late games, Tampa plays very strangely. That's how they got Seattle. So that's my only concern. I will not be surprised if they win that game, at all.
Well, believe it or not, guys, I think the Saints are going to lose. And I usually don't pick against the Saints, but I just don't feel good about this game. I really don't. And hopefully I'm wrong, but I just don't feel good about what I see in the team. If I had to forecast what's going to happen, I think we're going to have a big letdown again from our offense. So we shall see.
Understandable, man.
We shall see, guys. Yeah,
that's understandable.
That's understandable.
I don't see how any of us said anybody could listen to anything that any one of us said and said any of us are stupid for what we think. I mean, I could really understand why I said and what Derek said, what we said, but I could also understand why you said what you said, man. These guys have given us very much purpose for feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is what Kyle and Remy that kind of concerns me with the Saints and Las Vegas, because, and this is why it's a whole nother topic about just stuff. Las Vegas had the Saints picked to win 6 games. And if we go back 4 weeks ago, the Saints were already at 4 wins. They were 4-4. And since then, they've gone 1-3. And the odds are to make Las Vegas look like that this team finishes 6-10. It's something, I don't know if there's something once again internally going on with Coach Payton himself. I don't know. And I'm like, dude, I don't even want to speculate because I don't know. Something with the Saints. Now, I don't know if there's friction between Pete Carmichael, and Drew. I don't know. Something with the three of them does not appear to be copacetic at all. At all. And when you have situations where Cooks says things to the public, which he had never done that before, it tells me there's dissension amongst the heads and that there's something that they need to work out, get resolved. For you to continue like this every year, collapse, like this, something is not right. I can't figure it out, but usually when I start feeling like this, by off season, it will come out.
And you know what? I'm gonna go back to what you said about Cooks. Cooks said that a closed mouth doesn't get you fed. A closed mouth doesn't get you fed.
And a closed mouth doesn't get you fed. That simply means is what the NFL has caused this. The NFL tells these players, and these coaches tell these players when they're cut, it's a business. Well, guess what now, Coach Payton and everyone else? The players now, the younger generation, it's a business, and I need my receptions to make my brand great so I can have leverage to market like Drew Brees has done so that I can get paid also when I go to my second contract. This is the fault of the NFL owners and the coaches And guess what? The younger players now see it's just a business. When you tell people it's a business and you don't care about them, then guess what? They begin to pick on that same spirit on their own, and I better look out for myself.
Good point. All right, guys. Leonard Fournette, he's declaring for the NFL draft. Christian McCaffrey, NFL draft. Could the Saints make a run at Leonard Fournette? Could he be there at, I think right now, Mel Kiper has him at number 7.
He's going to Cleveland.
He's going to Cleveland.
And the Saints will draft. Yep. He'll be going to Cleveland or whoever's number 2 because the Saints.
Or Raiders.
Are not going to draft no LSU players. Bobby and them were talking about that on WWL. They have no clue, or they won't say what they think of why it happens like that. But whatever reason, Payton, it's absolutely insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice, 3 times, 4 times to get results. And for him not to pick LSU players, even if the Saints were there right now in the top 10 for the draft, even if he fell to the Saints, that team would not select him.
That's sad. That's real sad because if there's anything that you want to do, especially as an NFL team, is to have the fans relate to players they know, recognize, especially as most of the people around the SEC and that Gulf Coast region gravitate to the New Orleans Saints. It would only make sense that you would have players who they understood were all-star, all-pro players, all-Americans, or whatever you want to say at LSU to be on the New Orleans Saints team. We passed up too many guys. Go ahead.
As someone who's been watching him since he was a freshman in high school, I kind of, at this point, hate that he's so great. Because that means that there's a very good chance he's going to go early in the draft to a team that can't even utilize him. I would hate to see him go to Cleveland. I would also hate to see him go to San Francisco, simply because it's San Francisco. Y'all know how I hate them. They're like number 3 on my hate list as far as teams that I despise. So I would hate to see this young man who I have watched for so long, who's talented beyond imagination.
Yeah.
To end up with a team that will probably make no use of his talents, or B, a team that I despise him being with. Yeah,
I mean, I really don't see Cleveland, but they've done strange things before, right?
Jacksonville is next.
Jacksonville. That they really do need a running back, but
and then Chicago.
Yeah, well, Chicago too. You're right, and then you look at what's happening out there in San Francisco. I don't think that's going to be the route because what's his name doesn't utilize the running backs with power the way he should. He's more of a finesse type of coach. So, but anyway, all speculation right now. It's good to see that the young man will make his leap into the National Football League. I think he'll be highly successful. You haven't seen anyone of the likes of him since Jim Brown and Adrian Peterson. So that's who I kind of relate him to. All right, guys.
It would be kind of it would be ironic. I don't know what the word is, ironic or whatever. But if he did happen to get drafted by Cleveland, that would be 2 within my lifetime who were St. powerhouse running backs. The other one being Leroy Horde.
Really?
To be drafted by Cleveland.
That's right. Old Leroy, man.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a great player, and he did nothing in Cleveland. So, I mean, he just didn't have a good team to do anything with. So,
once he got to Minnesota, he had a much better career.
Yeah, definitely. I think the